Morning, guys. I've missed you so much. And, I know you're at home and we don't have our classroom right now, but I didn't want you to feel like we were missing out. So, we're going to start with our news, and then we're going to talk about a couple of the things that were in your packet that you can do at home too that are going to be a lot like your homework, okay? So, what do we always start with on our news? Good morning. Today is Monday, March 23rd. We are in a new season. It's spring now. Remember, we were in winter, and that's when it was really cold, and we got that little bit of snow. Now we're in spring, and spring means that it's going to be raining a lot. I know it probably rained last Friday. It might have rained over the weekend. And now we're going to see everything blooming. That means the trees, the flowers. Have you seen the blue bonnets? If you've been out, lots of the flowers are coming out. We're in spring. Okay, so we're still looking at mammals. Remember, we went with reptiles and amphibians, and now we're in mammals. What are the 5 things that you need to have to be a mammal? Do you remember? We have to have a vertebrae. So remember, that's our backbone. They have to have hair. So for us, it's this. On animals, it's their fur and things like that. They have to breathe air. They have to be warm-blooded. Remember, we talked about reptiles were cold-blooded, which means they couldn't regulate their temperature. Now, we're warm-blooded. We don't have to go lay out in the sun to stay warm. We just stay that way. And they take care of their babies and give their babies milk. All the babies drink milk. So, there's our mammals. So, when we're talking about that, you're going to have a book that came in your packet. And what I want you to do is I want you to color it. And then we'll read this here in a little bit. But I want you to color it and make it really pretty. Remember, no scribble scrabbles. We want to make sure this is really, really pretty so we can read it later. Okay, so we're talking about our mammals still. I want you to sit and think for a second and think about what is the biggest mammal. Okay, so something that is warm-blooded, maybe has hair. Remember, hair doesn't mean that they're necessarily covered in it. We're not covered in like thick hair. So think about something that has hair, warm-blooded with a backbone, and takes care of his babies and all that, and breathes air. I want you to think real quick about what is the biggest one. And remember, not all those mammals live on the land. Some of those mammals live in the water. So I want you to think about that. And while you're thinking about it, I would like it if maybe you had your mommy and daddy help and put what you think the biggest mammal is in the comments on the video. And then we'll talk about what that is tomorrow. That way you have a good idea about what the biggest mammal is. I want you to be able to guess first, though, and use all the clues to try and figure out what that one might be. Now, we've also talked about our fastest mammal, and we've talked about our slowest mammal. So let's talk about those again so we don't forget them. We've got the fastest, which is the cheetah. And remember, the cheetah, when he goes as fast as he wants to, can be as fast as a car. So think about how cool that would be. But then we have the slowest mammal. And that slowest mammal is that 3-toed sloth. Remember, he kind of hangs upside down. He moves really, really slow. He sleeps a bunch. So let's think about those two. But I want you to start thinking, what would that biggest mammal be? Okay, so I told you that we are going to look at some of your homework stuff. Okay, so we talked about the mammal book. Let's read this mammal book real quick. So, it says, what is a mammal? Okay, and he is a beaver on the front of our mammal book. Okay, this says, mammals are interesting animals. Circle the mammal you are most interested in. So I want you to come in here and I want you to color all of them, and then I want you to draw a circle around whatever one you think is the coolest and most interesting to you, okay? And then we're going to go in here, and it says mammals all have certain things in common. What are things that these animals have in common? So let's talk about that real quick. What are the 5 things that mammals all have in common? So he has fur, They both breathe air. They both have a backbone. We might not see it, but they do. And they both take care of their babies. And they breathe air. So let's talk about those. That's what they have in common. I want you to look at them when you color them, though. Tell me more about what those are going to have in common. So all mammals have a backbone. Okay, so on here is our skeleton, and there's our backbone. You can hardly see it on here, and it has it circled. Here's the possum's backbone, and here's the bear's. And what they want you to do is to take your yellow and trace where that backbone is in yellow, and then you can color the rest of it whatever color you want to, but leave that one yellow so we can still see its backbone. All mammals have fur, or tiny hairs on their body. So remember we talked about it might not be thick hair like this, but it might be tiny hairs like on your arms. We all have fur on our hair or bodies. All mammals are warm-blooded. Their temperatures stay the same all year long. These animals live in ice-cold air, but they are still warm. So remember we talked about we don't have to go lay out in the sun to stay warm. That we get to just be warm. All mammal mommies make milk for their babies. And they take care of those babies. All mammals breathe air. They have lungs. Whales are mammals, and they have lungs too. So I'm going to give you a hint. This is a really good hint to answering this question, okay? And then here are the 5 things about mammals. So backbone, lungs, hair, fur on their body, milk for the babies, and they're warm-blooded. Okay, so there's our book that you need to make sure you really color pretty. No scribbling for your homework. Okay, so here is our letter page, and we've done a bunch of these before, okay? So those that might not remember, we're going to color all the pictures, and you're going to cut them out and glue them to a piece of paper. I gave you lots of different colors in the pickup packet, so you can pick whatever color you want to and glue these down. So let's talk about what letter this is. This is a W. So we have watch, whale, wagon, wig, well, web, there's another wagon, and a window. All those are windows are all W words. Okay. We're going to build a W. I have 4 sticks. 4 long sticks. We are going to use them. We're going to build our W. Now, I can't really lay it down because you can't see it, but I can hold it up. So we are going to use those diagonal lines we talked about, those slants, as we build our W. So we're going to build a V, and we're going to build another V, and we're going to let them touch. That's how we're going to build our W. So here I'm going to draw it out real quick. Okay. We're going to do a slant and a slant. And that's our W. So when you're doing your W pages, practice your W sounds for your W, okay? And that's how we're going to start. I know that this is a little different than what we've been doing. This is a good intro to this. I'm going to upload some other videos for you to watch too, and I'm going to read some books. I know we didn't get to finish our chapter book, so I went and grabbed the chapter book from the school, and I'll read a couple of chapters. That way you can listen to it before nap time at home, if that's okay with your mommy and daddies. And I'll have a whole lot of other stuff that you can watch, and we've got some songs and dances and stuff like that that we would be doing if we were at school. So I can't wait to talk to y'all, and I know that I have made a schedule, and I'm going to call y'all, and we can catch up because I haven't got to see you in such a long time, and I can't wait to hear about all the stuff you've been doing and all the pretty work that you've been doing. So I can't wait to hear from you and seeing how your spring break was and this break and hearing all the exciting stuff that you've been doing and looking at your artwork, because in the packet I put stuff for you to make a whale and a W worm. So I can't wait to talk to y'all, and I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow, and we'll do our morning news again, and we'll read some stories, and we'll keep going. Okay, guys? Sounds good.